I'm using this random generator to pick a challenge for me to complete on Football Manager. So let's find out what today's challenge is going to be. So I'm going to count down from 5 whilst clicking the generate idea, and that will land us on today's challenge. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You'll manage Bohemian, initially using a 5-3-2 wide sweeper formation, and your ultimate goal is to have a team that excels in aggression, determination, and work rate. Nothing else matters. You're going to be the new Millwall. Terrifying. I like this challenge. So in case you didn't know, the Bohemian Football Club is in the Irish division. They are based in Dublin. This is their really cool website. You can see a couple of really snazzy kits. I like what I'm seeing so far. So let's take a look at them in Football Manager. So this is Bohemian FC in the Airtricity League in Ireland. Predicted the 5th best team in the league, and they play at the Daily Mount Park Stadium, which according to this page holds 10,000 capacity, but is in a very poor condition. And they have won the league 11 times, with the last being in 2009. And so we are hired to start this challenge. Fierce rivals are Shamrock Rovers, and the favourable formation of 4-2-3-1 is obviously not allowed as part of this challenge. So here is my 5-3-2 aggressive tactic that I have created for Bohemian FC. And as you can see, we have a defender on cover duty for that sweeper situation we have to incorporate, and every single player has tackle harder in their play instructions to be as aggressive as possible. Taking a look at the team instructions is very instructional heavy, with an attacking mentality and very direct. Gegenpress in transition, and our possession, we are tackling harder and higher up the pitch. Our best player, Lorenz Dell, is on loan from Union Berlin and is a quality striker, probably the best in the league. And we ain't paying a penny of his wages either. We don't really have a big budget to make a lot of changes in this one season. But taking a look at the league and our rivals, who are current champions, are once again favourites, while the media Dream 11 holds only one of our players, and that being the striker I just shown you. Back to a player search then. Of course, to comply with the challenge, we need players who are aggressive, determined, and hard-working. And I went and offered some contracts to some players, but they're not very good. However, I did sign former Valencia and Brighton player Vicente as a scout though, and he is amazing, and only on £140 a week. And former Liverpool, Spurs and Watford player Ronnie Rosenthal as well. I did have a bid accepted for Noah Kenner on loan, former FM Wonder Kid at Leeds, who would be an unbelievable player to pick up. We will see whether that happens or not. Okay, wow, we actually got the deal done. First game of the season is upon us, and it's in the cup. But first, let's take a look at some of the transfers we've made, starting with Stephen Beattie, who is an option for us at right wing back. We've also picked up this man, who is a fairly decent centre midfielder. And finally, Aaron Barry, who is a backup centre back, and all transfers were free other than Kenner on loan. So starting lineup, Kenner and Beattie joins the starting 11 for the first match. Now, I don't really know a lot about Irish football, but I thought I'd take a look at the opponents, and I was shocked to see something. I found Damien Duff was their manager. Doesn't look great for us though, as Shelbourne scored the only goal of the game, and our goalkeeper was our only decent player, making 8 saves. And now we gotta wait another month before our next game. So I scheduled a few friendlies, including the 3-2 loss with Malmo, which I'm actually quite surprised with. And so we are prepared for our first game of the season against Dundalk. And when new signing Stephen Beattie opened the scoring, my nerves began to fade. We then scored a penalty in the second half and rounded off the match when star man Dell tapped in the rebound. Great start, 3-0. But again, another 3-week gap after our first match, so I'll bang in some friendlies. Fast forward, and again it's Dundalk as the opponents, and this time in the EA Sports Cup. Is this some kind of like FIFA Ultimate Team Cup or what? Again though, we picked up a win to 0, despite them having way more shots than us. Lorenz Dell opened the scoring, and Junior picked up the second in the 85th minute. 2 more games later, and another 2 wins, including an away win against Drogheda. Not to be confused with Ivory Coast striker Drogba. And no surprises, we see ourselves top on goal difference ahead of rival Shamrock, who we play very soon. Also not surprising, with our ultra aggressive tactic, we made the most fouls in the first 3 games. Another league game, another 3 points, and another 2 goals from either striker. Dale got the first one when a beautiful ball was played through the gap, and Junior bagged another penalty. But the big test is against Shamrock next, who have won all 4 of their games as well, but only by 1 goal each time. And the only goal of the game was a powerful header from Junior to give us bragging rights. And that also puts us 3 points clear with 5 wins from 5. Junior is joint top scorer and John O'Sullivan is leading the most yellow cards so far this season. Now here is a very aggressive Irishman. We also played Drogheda United away in that Ultimate Team Cup, and we smashed them 5-0. Have I found a broken tactic or something? Because I've never used 3 at the back. Usually I thought they were terrible tactics. Well, the following game, Junior once again scores a penalty, but our goalkeeper James Talbot, who has been great for us so far, makes an error, and Doyle scored a 92nd minute equaliser. So yeah, that's a tough one to take. Treaty United in the EA Sports Cup next, and another fantastic performance. With Dale kicking things off early in the 3rd minute, Jordan Flores scored in the 44th through an incredible free kick, and he almost done it again, but we managed to score the rebound. And that's the semi-final we've just qualified for. Over to Derry City next, and John O'Sullivan gives us an early lead. And when a minute later, we dispossess them from their kickoff, counter-attack them down the left-hand side, and Junior is putting in the 2nd. But Dale wasn't going to be left out, he scored the 3rd before half-time. And substitute striker Varian picked up the 4th and final goal. And then it all went downhill. The very aggressive nature of our tactic meant we were starting to pick up a lot of injuries. And with 46 yellows and 2 red cards, a lot of suspensions too. Our first loss in the league came at the hands of Finn Harps, which is not a player, it is a club, and that is the only win they've had so far. A trip to Dundalk, and once again more points dropped, and O'Sullivan getting a straight red card. Drogheda up next, and things didn't go to plan when they put 2 past us without being able to respond. A draw, dropping points to Finn Harps again, who remember our bottom, and yet another red card for John O'Sullivan. And he's starting to really remind me of somebody. St. Patrick's next, and a set-piece goal gave us another loss. And we sink even lower when Sligo Rovers beat us. We get another injury and 3 more yellow cards. But this is what the random generator wanted, I guess. Chaos. Crisis, as that's now 6 games without a win. With most players back from injury or suspension, Dale opened the scoring against Waterford with a wonderful chip. But they come back with their own lovely little finish 10 minutes later. Junior then put us back into the lead just before half-time, but Waterford want to continue our misery and equalise once again through Kevrick. Thankfully though, Lawrence Dale found the net once again and gave us our first win for 7 games. And it's Shamrock Rovers in the derby next as well. And because we are aggressive, we gave away a penalty which they scored. But 1 minute later, Liam Burt tied the leg in the 7th minute. Centre-back Aaron Barry then leapt highest to give us the lead. But this is the derby, and bragging rights is on the line here, and Roberto Lopez scored for Shamrock to make the score 2-2. And the tie was once again flipped on its head when Jack Byrne got a 3rd for Shamrock to give them the lead again after falling 2-1 down. But set pieces can have a massive impact for us, and it was the difference as James Finnerty saved our blushes and equalised, ending the game 3-3. So let's catch up with the league. We are currently 4th and 4 points behind top, even though we have had no win in 6 matches recently. Shamrock, who are favourites, remember, are trailing in 6th place. We also have so many players in the top 10 yellow cards as well, with shock John O'Sullivan in the lead, who to nobody's shock also has the most red cards as well. He bloody loves it. We have so many injuries and suspensions racking up again, however. Thankfully, with a lot of players missing, the match against Longford Town was a successful trip with a 3-0 victory. But with another 4 bookings, we lose to Derry City 1-0, meaning we've actually dropped 7 points off the top spot. Junior banged in the winner against St. Patrick's though, and it's time for Dundalk, who are currently sat top. A lot of our players are struggling once again too, but still a very strong team for us. It took until the 84th minute, but substitute Varian bagged the only goal of the game. And we followed that win with another 3-0. But something a little different, we have an EC2 qualifier match against a team from Montenegro. And what a crazy game. In the 95th minute, they think they have things wrapped up from the penalty spot, but straight from kickoff, we head down and Junior makes it 3-3. We drew the next league game, but we won our EC2 tie 5-4 on aggregate, with Ukrainian team Vorskla in the next round. 2 more league wins and a win and a loss against Vorskla, but they progress on penalties, which I'm kind of relieved because I want to focus solely on the Electricity League instead. But it's the EA Sports Cup up next, and of course it's semi-final time. And look how many injuries and red cards we have again. In such a tight game, once again, then Varian pops up with an injury time winner to make it 4-3. Another loss to Derry City and 2 more wins in the league, and it's derby time against Shamrock. Of course, the game was tight and only Liam Burt's goal made the difference to win us 3 points, keeping us in 3rd and in striking distance of the title. However, both Dundalk and St Patrick's have games in hand, with St Patrick's in the best position. Another cup competition and Finn Harps eliminate us in extra time. But don't panic, because we are in the EA Sports Cup final anyways, but it's against St Patrick's. After 120 minutes, the game was still tied, and it's on to penalties. Ironically, our penalty taker missed his in the shootout, but luckily for him, it wasn't St Patrick's Day, as they went on and missed 2 penalties in the shootout to our 1. Apparently, we get like 84 plus player packs in this for winning this cup too. Our last 3 games of the season, derby match against Shamrock and 2 matches against the biggest title contenders in St Patrick's and Derry. Great. And it's so tight at the top as well. Any one of the 3 can win this. And it's 3 more wins, all of them 2-0 victories. And although we are top, St Patrick's could still climb above us. We need to beat them. But it's Shamrock in the derby up first. Right on halftime, Ali Coote lunged in and received his 2nd yellow, putting us down to 10 men. Right after halftime though, our aggressive Irishman John O'Sullivan does exactly the same thing and also receives his 2nd yellow, and now we're down to 9 men. And from the resulting free kick, Shamrock score the only goal of the game, with the keeper going missing. But the league is still in our hands as St Patrick's drop points as well. And of course, we are missing 3 players because of suspension. But scoring the only goal of the game and putting one hand on the cup, Bohemians bagged the win. Calculation mishap. So it turns out we're actually only 2nd on goal difference going into the final game, where Derry, our opponents, can also win the league. And St Patrick's are playing already relegated Finn Harps. But it's heartbreak. Derry City have taken the win. And St Patrick's beat Finn Harps 3-2, and they claimed the title. Most importantly though, we had the most tackles in the league, the 2nd most red cards, and easily the most yellows in the league, and I think we give it a bloody good go. But this was a lot of fun. Let me know if you want to see more, and of course, check out this video where I broke the top 6 in the league. It's hilarious, and Liverpool absolutely suck.